Joining us now for more is Kentucky Congressman and the Republican leader of the House Oversight, on the House on Oversight for the GOP, James Comer, is with us. Congressman, good to see you again. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Great to be back on.
It's good to have you with us. How does this play out? Because Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, who doesn't get the headlines that Manchin does, she is against this. She doesn't want to raise the corporate tax rate. She doesn't want us to be less competitive with our adversaries like China. Joe Biden wanted this thing wrapped up by Halloween. That's come and gone. Now he said he wants it wrapped up while he's overseas, and he's coming back real soon. So where does that leave us when it comes to infrastructure?
Well, I think Joe Manchin made it pretty clear yesterday. He is not going to vote for that budget reconciliation bill. He said that they had a lot of work to do and they could come back, and he wanted it scored, and he mentioned all these great Republican talking points as to why that's a bad bill. So he made it clear yesterday that he's not going to support it. I think Kyrsten Sinema is right there with him. So there's zero chance that bill is going to pass the Senate. Now, what Manchin did say is he expected the House to vote on the infrastructure bill. If Nancy Pelosi put the infrastructure bill on the floor, I still don't think she has the votes to pass it, because the Republicans aren't going to vote for that bill until she disconnects the infrastructure bill from the budget reconciliation bill. So as of this very moment in time, with all this drama going on in Washington, I think it's safe to say both bills are dead on arrival.
So we get nothing, or we're going to vote on something. Do you expect us before the holidays to have some? I mean, I'm wondering, just from an outsider's perspective, like, what are the Democrats going to have to run on 1 year from today, if not this?
Well, they're scared to death right now. Today's a big day. It's the election day in Virginia. Virginia, as you know, is a solid blue state, but the polls all indicate that Youngkin is surging and probably going to win tonight. If he wins this election, you talk about the Democrats going in disarray in the House. You haven't seen anything yet. They realize that if a Republican can win in Virginia, then a Republican can win in just about any swing district in America next year in the midterm. So I think a lot of Democrats want to sit back and see what happens in Virginia. I don't know how that's going to change the momentum of their bills or not, but they are definitely watching the election results tonight in Virginia.
Well, we've got to talk about coattails, though. I think let's just say if Glenn Youngkin does win tonight, and he's got a very good chance. Terry McAuliffe could certainly win. There was over 1 million early votes cast in that state, still under those COVID voting rules that were the temporary measures put in place before the 2020 election a year ago that we've talked about. Let's say Glenn Youngkin wins tonight. Does that make Joe Biden a lame duck president this early in his presidency?
I think that, along with everything else that he's done, all of his blunders, the debacle in Afghanistan, his energy policy kicking in, and the inflation kicking in, and just the impression he's made on the world stage, like falling asleep yesterday during the summit. I mean, I think that this will be the final blow to Joe Biden's potential of having any type of accomplishment as a president from a legislative standpoint. The Democrats realize that he's not a strong leader. They realize that all of his policies are very unpopular with the American people. This is the one piece of legislation that Joe Biden has banked his whole presidency on, this ridiculous, unnecessary budget reconciliation bill. And I just do not think that the Democrats are going to vote on it in the House, because the last time the Democrats voted on a controversial bill in the House that they knew was not going to pass the Senate was the cap and trade bill about a decade ago.
Right.
And when they voted for that bill, they voted for it for nothing, because it never became law, and the American people rejected them at the ballot the next election cycle. We picked up a seat in Kentucky because a Democrat who represented a lot of coal voted for cap and trade, and again, it didn't even get a vote in the Senate floor, and that's what's going to happen this time. So I really think, because of what Joe Manchin said yesterday, that these bills are dead on arrival.
And I'm wondering if this is not going to be Joe Biden's Obamacare. That swung the 2010 midterms in a huge way. I think the GOP picked up something like 63 seats in 2010, and Obamacare was the big issue. Could infrastructure have that same effect 1 year from today?
Well, the infrastructure bill is a little more popular than the budget reconciliation bill. I think most Americans would support infrastructure. Now, if they saw what all was in this infrastructure bill, I don't think they would be very excited about it. That's why I'm a no vote, even if we just vote on the infrastructure bill. But the budget reconciliation bill, which has all their human infrastructure and all their social safety net programs and their great expansion of government and their Green New Deal type proposals.
Right.
This bill is the bill that's very unpopular, and Pelosi thought she was being cute tying those two bills together, but at the end of the day, I think she doomed both bills by doing that. So I think the budget reconciliation bill, whether it passes or not, Republicans are going to use that against Democrats in the midterm.
And 1.75 trillion, still just a number that we've never seen before in our history. Final question, and on a different note here, but I know that Dr. Fauci is going to be on Capitol Hill testifying before the Senate on Thursday. But you just joined forces with another powerful elected official from the bluegrass state there in Kentucky, Senator Rand Paul, who we'd love to have on the show before or after that testimony, because I guarantee you his line of questioning is going to be fascinating when it comes to Dr. Fauci. But he tweeted out today, I sent a letter with Congressman James Comer to Dr. Francis Collins, the director of the NIH, requesting information on an update made to the NIH website on October 20th, 2021, just a couple of weeks ago. What is it there that you'd like to hear from Dr. Collins?
Well, why did he change his website? That's a big question. They've tried. It appears they're going back, trying to make some changes. It's counter to what they've testified to Congress in the past with respect to funding gain of function research. I don't know that they realized that they had on their website that they were actually doing this. So my House Oversight Committee, we've uncovered a lot of grant money that did go to Wuhan lab for gain of function research, despite what Fauci and Dr. Collins said. That's why they're backtracking. And then they went and changed their website around. So they have a lot of explaining to do. They've never been forthcoming with the American people, and it's starting to come out that a lot of what they said was just not true. And I think the people are fed up with.
We could use the word lie. I think we could use the word lie pretty aptly there. Congressman, thank you so much. That I had no idea it had taken place until I saw the tweet, and then I looked into it. They literally changed the website. It's ridiculous. Congressman James Comer, so good to see you again. We'll see you again real soon. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right.